Hey everyone, it's Caitlin. Welcome back to another video. Now that the weather is warming up, I have been craving more salads, but I'm not talking about limp salads made with like iceberg lettuce, some mealy tomatoes, and some onions. No. Honestly, I think vegans make some of the best salads around because we know how to combine textures and flavors and make salads that are actually satisfying, delicious, and interesting. So today I'm bringing you 4 different summer appropriate salads that I guarantee anyone, whether you're vegan or not, can enjoy. These are great for a warm weather lunch. A lot of them are very meal prep friendly, or you can have them as a lighter dinner, maybe with a glass of vino and some bread on the side, or take inspiration from the recipes as you will, but they're all pretty easy to make, and I'm gonna show you how to make them right now. So let's get into it. First up, we're going to be making the absolute best mango chickpea salad. This recipe is Indian inspired, so we're using a few different Indian cooking techniques. First up, we're going to be making a tadka or tarka, which is an infused oil. I'm starting out by adding some chopped garlic and some turmeric to a heavy ceramic bowl, though a glass bowl will work as well. And then we're going to warm some oil in a skillet. And then once that becomes nice and warm, we're going to be adding in whole spices. So I have some fennel, some cumin, and some coriander here. You're going to add those to the pot and they make a nice sizzly popping sound and they're infusing into the oil. You're going to toast those for about 1 to 2 minutes and then carefully pour the oil over the garlic and turmeric, and it's going to sizzle and sort of infuse the oil even further with those delicious flavors. It will splatter a bit, so I put mine on a plate, and you're just going to set that aside and let it cool, and then at that point you can transfer it to a jar. This is what it's going to look like. And we're going to go ahead and make our dressing. So we'll start out by adding in some maple syrup for a touch of sweetness, some tamarind concentrate, which has a nice sweet and tangy flavor, some salt obviously, and then some lime juice to sort of thin the dressing out a little bit more and add another refreshing tangy element to the dressing. This dressing is so delicious. I can't even begin to describe. If you love Indian flavors, I guarantee you're going to love this. You're just going to shake it up until it's nice and emulsified. Set that aside, and then we're going to assemble our salad, which is essentially throwing things together in a bowl. We've got some chickpeas, some diced bell pepper, some tomatoes, some crunchy cucumber, some sweet, juicy, and tangy mango. Then we've also got some finely diced red onion, and then some super finely diced serrano pepper. You can omit this if you're sensitive to heat, but I love the kick of spice that this adds. And then we'll also add in some cilantro for a fresh herby bite. Then you're going to pour the dressing on top and stir everything until it's well combined. So this recipe is also inspired by chana chaat, which is an Indian street food that is made from cooked chickpeas mixed with various chutneys. And the veggies vary a little bit, but I decided to add in mango and some extra things that you might not see in a traditional recipe, though it is inspired by Indian food. I mean, what's not to love about this recipe? You've got hearty textures, juicy flavors, a crunch. It's honestly, I think, the best thing I've made in a while. So if you make any of these recipes, please give this one a try. It does not disappoint. Now, that's a hard recipe to follow, but I will say this edamame salad with smashed cucumbers is very delicious as well. This is inspired by Chinese cucumber salad, so we'll be using some of the traditional preparation techniques, but I love to turn side dishes into a main course, so we're adding in some edamame for some extra plant-based protein as well. To start out, we're going to take some Persian cucumbers and slice the ends off, and then we'll smash our cucumbers by slicing them in half lengthwise and then using the backside of a knife to sort of mush them down a little bit. This does change the flavor of the cucumber, so I recommend doing this. It's not like an extra unnecessary step. It really does change the flavor profile of the cucumbers, so don't skip it. It's also a great way to take your aggression and stress out. So you're going to transfer your smashed cucumbers into a sieve over a bowl, and then we're going to sprinkle some salt on top of these. The salt is going to draw out excess moisture from the cucumber, and this prevents our salad from getting too soggy later on. So we'll set that aside and we'll start by making our dressing in the bottom of a bowl. We're going to be using some tamari or soy sauce here, plus some rice vinegar for a little bit of tang, some maple syrup for just a touch of sweetness, and some chili oil for some spice, plus some toasted sesame oil for umami flavor. Then we're going to go ahead and add in 1 clove of crushed garlic. Then we're going to whisk this and set it aside for a few minutes. The garlic is going to mellow out from the acidity in the rice vinegar, so it's still delicious, but it's not super overpowering. So then once our cucumbers have set, you're going to remove them. As you can see, there's a little bit of liquid left behind, and we're going to transfer this directly into the bowl with the dressing and add in some edamame, some thinly sliced green onions for a little bit of tang and bite. And then we're also going to add in some sesame seeds for a little bit of crunch. Then you're just going to mix this and it's ready to serve, though I do recommend letting it sit in the fridge so it gets a little bit colder and the flavors have more time to mix together. You can eat this on its own as a nice snack, but it's also delicious over rice noodles or rice if you want something a little bit heartier. Then continuing with the Asian inspired train, this time we're going to Thailand and we're making a Thai inspired salad with tempeh. This recipe is basically from my favorite Thai restaurant in Portland, Kati Thai. I don't know their recipe, but I think it's probably similar to this, and I wanted to be able to make this deliciousness from the comfort of my home when I couldn't go out and get takeout. So as you can see here, I'm starting out by pan frying my tempeh until it's golden brown on all sides. I love pan fried tempeh. It has a nice crunchy exterior, but then the inside is still kind of like soft and fluffy. So once you're done pan frying your tempeh, you're going to transfer to a plate lined with a paper towel. And then, like all fried foods, it's better with a little sprinkle of salt at the end. So sprinkle it with salt and then set that aside, let it cool a little bit. And we're going to make our dressing in the bottom of our bowl. Again, as you can see, I started out with some tamari or soy sauce. Then you're going to go in and add some maple syrup. Again, very similar to the last recipe, but this time we're using chili garlic sauce or sambal olek, some crushed garlic, and then again, some lime juice to thin everything out. Then you're going to whisk all of that up until it's nice and evenly combined. And then we'll add in our crunchy veggies. We're starting with some iceberg lettuce, which has the most satisfying crunchy texture, some chopped carrots, and then a Granny Smith apple, which may sound odd, but I promise it adds like the most yummy, sweet, and sour bite. And then we'll also add in some finely chopped red onion, and we're going to mix all this stuff in the dressing first to sort of coat everything. The dressing isn't really super creamy, but then we'll add the pan fried tempeh on top, which sort of combines with the dressing to make an overall super satisfying but also refreshing salad. We're also topping it off with some cilantro for another bite and some peanuts for another little crunchy, creamy bite in there. The salad is absolutely delicious, totally refreshing. You really need to try it out. And then last but certainly not least, we'll be making a spicy peach and chickpea salad. This is sort of Tex-Mex, but also just like spring summer produce inspired. We're going to start with our dressing by adding some olive oil to a jar. Then we're going to add some lime juice as well for some brightness and acidity, plus a little bit of agave for sweetness. Then I'm going in and adding chipotle powder for some smoky spiciness. It's not too spicy, so I recommend still adding it in, but it is optional. Then we'll also add some salt and just seal the jar off and shake everything until it's emulsified. If you haven't started making your salad dressing in jars, I highly recommend. It's a lot easier than whisking in a bowl. And then for our salad, we're starting with a base of chickpeas again, though this time we're going to add some juicy diced peaches, which adds the perfect sweet but also tangy and creamy flavor. Then we'll add in some cucumbers for some crunch, plus some watermelon radishes. That's the really pretty pink and green veggie you see on the screen here. I got mine at my grocery store, but a regular radish will work as well if you can't find them. We're also adding in some jalapenos for a little bit of a kick, though you can remove the seeds if you want it to be more mild. Then we'll just top everything off with the dressing, give everything a good stir. I like to mix this around first because then we'll add in some avocado and some basil, but I feel like these herbs in the avocado are a little bit more tender and we don't want our avocado to just turn into guacamole in the bowl. So we're just going to gently mix that so we still get pieces of avocado. And then it's time to serve, though again, you can let it marinate in the fridge for a little bit longer if you want. This salad is like light but juicy, but it has a nice little kick. It's very fresh, perfect light lunch on a warm day. I love it and I think you will too. All right, friends, and that's it. Leave a comment down below and tell me which one of these recipes is your favorite. And if you have any other summer salad or just in general summer recipe requests for me, also leave a comment down below and let me know. I think you can hear my dishwasher running. I apologize about that, but I'm just trying to be a multitasking woman. But anyways, you can get all of these recipes on my blog, FromMyBowl.com. It's linked below each one. I laid it out for you, so all you have to do is click and go. And if you want to see even more recipe content, be sure to follow me on Instagram or TikTok, where I post frequently. I hope you're taking care of yourself. Have a wonderful, fantabulous day. Subscribe if you're not already, and I look forward to virtually seeing you soon in a future video. Bye.